Hi, welcome to another episode of Silver Fox Scotland. First one back after the new year. It's been a while, but that's only because I couldn't keep two channels up over the entire holiday break. There was just so many other things to do. So I took a step away from this one, but I am back and normal service will be resumed. Now, we're going to start with a bit of a difficult one, of course. There's a lot of talk and speculation, infighting. It's all over the place with the grooming gangs problem. But this is not exclusively, of course, an English problem. This has been going on in Scotland as well, and the SNP themselves, both at national and local council level, have been involved. And there are, for Swinney and his ilk, many questions to answer. What did they know? When did they know? Were they also actively trying to cover it up and hide it for the sake of, quote, race relations? Other words, if we say anything, we'll look like we're racist, and we don't want that. So we just have to let the girls continue to be attacked so that we can have a quiet life. They'll have to pay the price. It's moral cowardice, of course. No one dare stand up and call it what it is. We don't want to highlight the problem of Islamic child rape in Scotland. And that's basically the attitude they took. But we know it goes on. It's undoubtedly going on still, despite how it's being highlighted. And still the police are refusing to deal with it. And still the politicians are refusing to acknowledge it. But acknowledge it they must, because the questions are now being asked. It seems incredible that nobody wants to talk about it in Scotland. We all know how deeply involved certain parties are. We all suspect other parties are directly involved in some of this. I can't possibly name names, but you all know who I mean. Some people probably had enjoyment of the fruits of their labour, shall we say. But Bernardo's and the children's charities up there have all said it's been going on for some time. They've highlighted it. They've asked ministers. Ministers have refused to even sometimes respond, let alone answer, for fear of making the problem worse. They don't want to exacerbate a thing that can blow up so large that it would possibly end in a civil war. But I think it's too late now. I think the good people of this country have seen what they've imported and they don't like it. They don't like this culture of abuse of their children. And they don't like the ruling classes that are not only permitting it, but almost encouraging it. And we need a centrist view, us in the centre. You have the politicians at the top, us in the centre, the scum at the bottom. And we need to expand both ways and treat those in charge and those doing it exactly the same. Every politician who fails to respond is complicit. Go forward with that thought and just start looking at them. But look at them through that prism. If they're not standing up, actively speaking against it and actively calling it for what it is, stop using grooming gangs, call it what it is, Islamic child rape. And if they're not prepared to call it that, then you know they are for it. They're conniving with it, and they are as guilty as those doing it. Because hiding its name is just as bad as pretending it doesn't exist. Thanks very much. Bye.